How do I keep finding myself in the smallest compartments of these boats? Stick around today, you might just learn how to install something new. So now that I climbed out of that small cubby, I can talk a little bit and breathe a little bit. I'm going to show you today what we're working with on this client of ours, Cruisers Cantius 50. So they've got an issue with their air conditioner unit and it is not working. They're going to be waiting on parts from the factory until about November. Now that's just not going to cut it on a 90-degree summer day with blazing heat trying to sleep on your vessel or just be comfortable in general. So I, luckily, have a connection in the city, and they are able to get us Dometic units pretty easily. Now, this stuff is like gold right now in the market and the industry. These Dometic air conditioner units are very hard to come by. Brand new, full self-contained unit. We're going to swap out the old one that's not working. We're going to put a new one in. So we're going to film it and see what happens. Here we go. Follow along. So we are looking at the mid cabin. Behind this little trap door is actually, let me get a flashlight here. It's actually a much larger room than I was anticipating, which is excellent because usually I'm in a very, very tight compartment. So okay, so that verifies that something is wrong with this. You can hear it turning on, starting up, and then make some weird crinkly noises and flips the breaker. So there's an issue with that. We're gonna have to replace it. This thing's a little awkward and big and kind of weird to carry, so put the camera down. Let's see if I don't drop this thing. All right, here we go. So, unfortunately, I guess fortunately, it's not a crazy hot day today. It's like, I don't know, 70 something degrees and overcast. So I've got to have the AC off in order to do this project. So luckily it's not super hot because that would be miserable. So this unit, we got the replacement unit here. The new unit, or the old unit that we need to replace, is behind this little trap door in the third stateroom of this vessel. We're gonna have to crawl all the way back in there. Gotta flip the light on and show you, but as always, gotta find myself in these little tiny cubbies, and this one actually, luckily, has quite a bit more space than I'm used to. So should be pretty comfortable working area in there. Let me get set up in there and let's get going. Before I start doing anything, I want to make sure all the power's off to this unit, and then I'll go into the engine room and turn off any of the water inlets, because I'm about to take some hoses off of the unit where it is obviously pulling fresh water in to cool itself and send cool air around the boat. I need to make sure that no water when I pull that hose off. I'm sure some water is going to come flying out, but I'm hoping that not an endless supply of it. So I'm going to cut off the water supply. I'm gonna turn off the electrical. So I got our salon AC, mid cabin, forward cabin, and the water pump. So no AC power is going on here for the unit itself. Now let's go into the engine room and knock off the water supply. Nice big engine room here, quite a bit of space. Seakeeper 9 on this vessel. Volvo IPS 600s. We're very familiar with those. We've done plenty of videos with the Volvo impeller changes and whatnot. But anyways, so here we are. I like that these vessels, most of them at least, do have them labeled here. So it says AC raw water Seacock. We're just going to turn off. Now, when it's open, water flows in through here. It gets pulled in through a sea strainer. Gets collects any kind of debris or large chunks of stuff, seaweed, whatnot. It goes then through the hose, around the boat, and then all the way to the forward cabin to that unit. But we're going to turn this off so we don't have any more water flowing in. There's still going to be some water in the system, but it shouldn't be too much. Hopefully not, at least. We'll see. That right there, pointing at it, is the unit that we're going to be replacing. This right here is the electrical component of it, the unit there. So we're going to have to replace that, pull out some of the wires, disconnect them, and then reconnect them to our new one. So trying to decide if I should be taking out this unit first and then bringing the new one in, or if I should put the new one in here first. Let's bring the new one in. All right, let's get this thing in here. I think I need to be on the inside first. So, hopefully the lighting's good enough. Now this is the old unit. This is the new one. And all this power cord here goes to the compressor, some of the other parts. But you'll see some other electrical connections here that will go to the display control units and other items. So we're going to have to take any of the electrical off of this one. So all of these, well, let's look side by side. How about that? So all of these from these two lines coming in that go to these different areas will need to get removed from this, removed out of here, placed into these two holes, and then reattached to here. Additionally, looks like there's a secondary, this is to a thermometer that's inside the room, so it knows the room's ambient temperature. This thermometer will get unplugged, plugged in over here. See, this is the thermometer. So this kind of sticks out of the hole in the wall usually, so you'll see a little bit of a sensing of the actual room temperature. So let's loosen this guy up. So you try to keep your screws or bolts or whatever you got in an area that you can't lose them, or don't drop them into some other small hole, because that could really screw up your progress. So now if we just replace this, so this is the new one, this is the old one, but the old one still has all the electrical connections here, so I'm going to be removing these in a minute. But let's get this kind of fixed in place. Okay, this existing unit here has two thermometers that are in it that are currently located throughout the boat. Now instead of rerunning the new thermometers, I think we're going to stick with the old ones. So now I can remove, if you see, this new one comes with a thermometer hooked in, and as I showed you before, it's all wired here. Now the old one, see these gray wires that run up and throughout the boat all the way here into the forward stateroom? Those are connected right here and here. So I'm going to remove these two, put them onto the new one, so we don't have to rerun that. So remove the new one, put that on reserve. Now we're going to take these two old ones. We're going to just do one at a time so it doesn't get confusing. This one goes into the first slot. We can tighten these up later. Now we remove the second one. Okay, so those are both in place. Now, comes the electrical. So each of these, you see this one coming in has line 1 L1 pump, L2 pump, and a ground. So we're going to remove these. Take a picture of what you're looking at, the current setup. So if you forget, or you get it taken apart and then you're like, crap, how's this supposed to go back together? The picture is worth 1,000 words. It'll tell you right there, so you don't have to wonder later. Okay, so now this is out from the old, and we can replace into the new. I'm going to do it one at a time so I don't confuse myself, and I know I'm putting the right things in the right spots. Some other people who do this all the time might have something else to say. You're not doing it right, you're not doing it fast enough, whatever, but again, this is not as difficult as it seems. You just got to take steps with it. So let's just do this code as we go. Now, do you remember what one was line 1, which one was line 2 between the red and the black? Neither do I. Photos, and it looks like the black one went to L1 pump. So now, okay, now the other one from earlier has this one that goes in, which has red to L2. Black one goes all the way over here to line 1, and then the green to the ground. So now we look at this picture and we look at this picture and verify if we're looking pretty good. We got L1 and L1 pump both with black, L2 pump both with red, and the 2 grounds. I think that looks good. We got our 2 thermometers plugged in. Everything looks good in here. So now we can leave this exposed for the moment, but we're going to eventually put the cap on, so we'll just leave it loose for now. Now to the fun part. So the old unit is what needs to go. Old unit still in place, new unit here connected, but at least we can work around it. However, first thing I'm looking at, this blower unit right here, see the word down there says rotatable, okay? If you notice, it's kind of pointing upwards, and this one is pointing straight. So we're going to actually want to rotate this a little bit. So let's test that. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to leave this loose, so now we can match that angle here eventually. So, because if you look in here, this is the fan, right? So this fan spins and takes the cooled air, all this stuff, blows cooled air with those fans. It's going to go up this pipe and out into the different vents throughout the boat. So that's what we're looking at there. So As I mentioned before, this is the vent where the air goes to. So we can remove the hose clamp that keeps the vent on the blower. So we can access that. Okay, so there's the blower vent. I'll leave that off to the side. There's the unit. Now, the last two things that need to come off of this unit. So the water lines, there's one, this is going from the back of the boat. This water line is the fresh water that comes in, and it goes to the top here. And then there's a water line, this lower, the secondary one, you can't, it's tucked behind there. The second one is the discharge. So it goes, actually is discharged, where it goes, out of the boat right here. And then this is like a side vent where the water will go shooting out. So we're gonna need to take those off, and probably immediately, once we get this top one off, this is the inlet, we want to elevate it so hopefully the water doesn't go shooting in on it. Okay, that's just going to be easier. Goes in the top one. So I'll leave this up here and out of the way. Bottom one. Let's see if that one's any easier to get off. Okay, as I suspected, water's gonna come rushing out of that. I'm gonna keep that high. So the unit disconnected and ready to be removed. Let's get this thing out of here so we can keep on finishing up. So decided to remove the mattress so I can take out the old unit. And as I'm removing the mattress, I've got it up here at face level. My face is right here in this freaking thing, whatever the hell that kind of bug is. All right, now I'm ready to remove old unit. This was a bed here that was smushing that gross bug that I just saw. Anyways, I'm gonna have it put it onto here instead of the mattress so I can keep the clean vessel for the client. A little bit of water came out there, but I got my rag here so we can quickly scoop it up. So you see this, a lot of gross, kind of funky growth there. All right, so I actually think this is done. Old unit has been removed, it's out here. All the old electrical unit. This can be actually salvaged for some stuff. You know, if the actual unit itself, the compressor or something is what's messed up, this blower unit is definitely would be still doable, replaceable. You see the fan spinning, it's not making a lot of rattly noises. Sometimes actually the blower unit is what gets jacked up in other ones. So you can cut out this area here. You can see behind you there's some screws somewhere in here, you can feel them out. Pop this actual blower unit motor off and replace it with another one. So just simple wires. It's actually pretty nice. So anyways, that unit looks like it must have gotten fried. It's pretty, this was supposedly just replaced in 2021, May of 2021, a year ago, and it sure doesn't look in great condition. However, this vessel did come from saltwater, Salt water does, I tell you sometimes, that does eat up boats quite a bit faster than fresh water, so corrosion and whatnot. So that could be some of the reason that we're seeing some of this discoloration and some of this gross stuff. But anyways, got all my tools kind of off the way, out of the way, cleaning it up. I'm gonna make it cleaner than when I got here. So unit is back in place. The air vent is connected to it. The blower is good and rotated into position. The water hoses are on. The in and out water hoses are on. I did the clamps right down there. Those little bolts to hold it into place. All the electrical's done. So I think, we'll see. I think we're ready to test it out. Now, remember I turned off the water. Jesus. I turned off the water and all of this stuff is off. So let's go turn the water back on. Let's turn the power on. Let's see if it actually works. Let's see if I know what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay, now AC water seacock back on so the water will flow to the units. Now let's go and see if this thing works. Our guys just got done cleaning this boat. She looks good. Nice and cleaned up. First good wash of the season for this vessel. But she looks good. Thank you, boys. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, the moment of truth. AC water pump on. Forward AC water pump. Okay, looks like it's on here. Now let's turn on mode. Cool. Here comes the fan. I'll turn up the fan a couple clicks. Go in here. You hear it blowing. That's a bonus. Now I'm looking for leaking water out of the inlet hose. I don't see any. That water over there is from when I removed the old unit, so don't get worried there. But I feel water on this hose coming through. I don't see any leaking here out of the drainage hose either. I can feel a little bit of the air in here. Let me go put my head by the unit. Goodness. We have, let's turn it down. Let's get some, oops, that's up. Let's turn it down. Let's get some jet cold air flowing through here. Yeah, buddy. I think we're doing it right. All right, so cold air coming out of here. Ooh, that feels real good. Now, again, let's go double check. Now you really hear it blowing because I turned on the cold air. Get my light up here. So you hear it blowing. Air's going up there into that one, which is then going forward to the stateroom that I was just in. All right, so I think we're actually done here, guys. We did the project, made it through. So I'm going to finish cleaning up. We're going to take out the old unit, get it out of here, put the bed back in, bug-free this time, and you can still hear the fan blowing nicely. So I am encouraged. I think we are done here. And again, thank you for sticking around, guys. Thank you for watching. And maybe you learned something. Maybe you learned how not to do something the way I did it. Feel free, again, comment, critique, tell me what I didn't do right, what I did wrong, what I could have done better. My camera angles, I'm sure, the lighting was bad. Hey, but you know what? Did a project, I brought you along with me. Hopefully you learned something. I definitely learned something today. Learned a few things. All around, I appreciate you being around as always. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, liking, sharing, all of that jazz. I appreciate you. Cheers. See you next time. All right. Note to self, when you're back when your back is sticking out of a small, sharp wooden frame, don't stand up immediately. Shit. Okay, so